Good noon, everybody. Welcome to the 30th. The 30th. 30. That's sort of like past your Saturn return, isn't it? It is with years. This is like...
It's only 30 weeks. It's not 30 years.
I know, but this is episode 30 that we've been doing Magical Monday. So welcome. Let's see who's joined us. Hopefully I can figure this out. Oh my goodness gracious me, there's a bunch of people.
All right, let me mark them down if they're channel members.
Well, everybody's a channel member
Geraldine,
that I see
Gilda,
so far.
and
Well,
Cass.
who said hello? But that I think there's more people watching than that. And I love the way that there's this little heart thing down the bottom now, so people can just hit that and spam us hearts, because we like that a lot.
Oh, heart spamming, that's always
Heart
good.
spamming. It's a good kind of spam. It really is. So we got Geraldine, we got Gilda, we got Cass. Hello.
There goes a heart.
There goes a heart spam.
That's so
And
cute.
don't forget, you can make the lights flash too if you send us a super chat.
Well, these guys are channel members.
I
so they're
know,
already in.
but it's all fun. It's all fun. Oh, and hi, Peggy. So, yeah, the gang is gathering.
The gang is gathering.
I understand.
Can't believe it's Monday again.
Day before first quarter. So this is interesting moon-wise, but it's another week
waxing
before
moon.
waxing moon, growing energy, all good stuff. And boy, is there a lot going on
There is.
astrologically.
I didn't write down the exact day, but so I'm just going to...
The exact day of what?
Well, I know somebody's going to ask me the exact day, but, you know, these things that last for a period of time.
The exact day of what?
The nodal shift.
Oh, so that's what we're talking about. Oh, God. This is it's too highbrow. It's over my head, I tell you. Hello, Wendy. How you doing? A happy Monday to you, too. Welcome. So, guys, if you have not mashed that like button yet, please, with respect, just hit that like button. Hit it. Make us liked. We like to be liked.
Make us liked.
I want to be liked.
I want to be liked.
I want to be liked.
Yeah.
That's
well,
it.
I
Hello,
don't know.
Savannah.
Hello, Savannah. I'll write her down too. I don't know if any of you noticed that there seemed to be like this. Look, there is a tremor in the force.
Oh, a disturbance in the force.
Yeah.
You know what there is, isn't there? It's
but it's
like
not
this
necessarily in
mad
a
kinda-
bad way. But it is kind of a crazy.
But you do feel this almost anticipation, as they
Yes.
say. I see you shadow with anticipation.
So we had a lovely gathering for the new moon on Zoom.
That was cool.
And we talked about honoring the energy of like transformation. And we said that we were going to release doubt and build inspiration, and release fear and build passion, and release illness and build healing, and release debt and build prosperity.
These are good things to do.
And this is kind of an interesting energy that we have available to us.
Hello, Shannon.
Oh, I get Shannon on the list.
Your name's on the list.
I don't want to
Lovely.
miss anybody.
Well, we'll try
right.
not to. We can
So,
scroll back. Carry on. This is fascinating. Do
There's
tell.
something that happens about every 18 months,
18 months.
and it's
Okay.
called a nodal shift, which means that the north and south node change signs. Now, the north and south node in our natal charts are very much about karmic patterning. And they tell us what we brought in from past life and how we're going to make best use of it in this life. And they kind of have like an undertone of what's going on. So in January of 2022, they moved into Taurus and Scorpio. So from January 2022 until last week, the focus was on trying to like reset foundations, Taurus, and things that are hidden being brought to light, Scorpio.
Well, I mean, they're psychic detectives, aren't they, really?
And that, you know, when you look up Scorpio and you look at the words, you get like psychism, debt, death, inheritance, espionage, all these kind of interesting things.
It's all a bit cloak and dagger, quite literally, eh?
And the energy of Taurus and Scorpio, earth and water, are quite deliberate and fixed, right?
Well, they are fixed
Taurus and
signs.
Scorpio are the fixed earth and water.
So you got passive feminine and fixed feminine there as well.
Right.
Mm.
Well, now in July, on the
Yes.
18th,
Which was a couple of days ago.
doing some very interesting interacting with the Cancer new moon, because that's a cardinal sign.
Years.
The nodes shifted into Aries and Libra.
Oh, so they became cardinal as well.
So they shifted into cardinal air and cardinal fire.
So we've got the energies of Mars and Venus to play with here.
The
as
energies of Mars and Venus, but we have the energy of Aries, like aggression kind of thing.
well. Bags of smoke straight up the middle.
And Libra's justice.
Well, yeah, balance it out. I mean, the scales, restore
Right.
balance kind of thing, yeah.
But the cute little thing that also happened is that Pluto is
Pluto.
making a square. So you had a grand square between Pluto, the new moon, and the nodes.
Sounds weird.
It was an interesting week, I'll bet, when we think about it. So we know that Pluto is the great transformer, right? Pluto destroys and recreates.
It's like they got the Kali kind of energy to
Yeah.
it, rip it down, rip
well,
it out, and
well,
start
wipe
over.
the slate clean and start over. And honestly, it does. It says, what no longer serves you? So that was a great opportunity, that new moon, to clean house inside and,
And in the garden, which you were doing.
we
you know,
cleaned
where-
the garden, I cleaned my clothes closet, just trying to make some positive shifts. Now, as a nation, we're talking about the United States,
The US of A, Uncle Sam.
it's very interesting to look at the last time this configuration happened in the heavens,
You're going to tell me it's around
1776.
Oh, bollocks.
All right. So when you have Pluto square the nodes, you have big waves of change. Big waves of change.
Change isn't always bad,
Well,
though, is it?
if you think about the cardinal signs, they change the seasons.
They do. They usher in.
So we kind of have that double dose of change energy, don't we? Right? So if there was something that you really wanted to transform, now is a great time. And we're now waxing moon. So we really want to start building energy for ourselves.
Yes, he is.
And when we get to the Aquarius full moon, I think the 31st first, depending on where you live, that will be a great night to really do some transformative magic.
On the full moon?
Yeah. But understand that all year I've kind of been talking about this age of Aquarius, right? And said that 1960 to 2020 was the first tick on the clock. And now 2020 to like 2060 is the second tick on the clock. And there's some really wild things going on over these next 10 years with the age of Aquarius and manifesting and just
I don't know if we've got Helena Rose now as well. Hello. I don't know if it's like a commentary on world events, and I don't think it's limited to just this country.
oh no,
But I mean,
I'm
there's
saying
almost been it's like, sometimes the old established,
You can see
this
it
is the
look-
way that we've always done it kind of thing. This is us. We're comfortable with this. And they resist change, which is probably why,
That's that Aries side of
this
it.
kind of, there has been this rise almost in right-wing authoritarianism, if I can say that, globally.
But we're in a place of justice now.
so
But
there's
look
this
what's
battle
happening.
going
It's
on
not
right now.
just here.
No, it's not.
But I'm saying for the United States, it was 1776 the last time this happened.
But
you can see this evolutionary, revolutionary changes happening. Brazil, France, NATO. There's upheaval in a lot of places.
I just love, though, that for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So the nastier that people get,
the nicer the
hopefully
others.
others will balance that out.
Well, this is what I want to talk about. Yeah.
That kind of
All right.
care and stuff.
So big waves of change. You've got that kind of warring upheaval, that Aries Mars energy that says this can no longer stand, right? This can no longer stand. But you have the ability for that positive focus. There's a huge shift of energy with the Pluto moving into Aquarius, right? It's going to leave Capricorn. It's going to move into Aquarius. It's going to take a little while because we have Pluto square for the whole rest of 2023. So these next 5 months might be a bit earthquakey.
We're living in interesting times, isn't it?
I don't mean physically earthquakey. I mean internal shifting of things. Anyway. But once Pluto moves into Aquarius, that warring bit will be settling out, and there'll be a huge focus on creativity, community, collaborating. You will see a cleansing of drama and a cleansing of trauma. And like a reset, right? So if we think of things, again, I don't want to get political, but there is great unrest in this country. There's great divisiveness.
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely, polarization.
It's a very much us and them, whether we're talking about us and them religion or us and them racism or us and them LGBTQ. Well, there's all this us and them.
Division, divide, isn't it? But are we not the United States?
And
are we not supposed to be, pluro unum? If I forgot that right, I'm sorry, my Latin is terrible. From many one.
Unum,
pluribus unum, yeah. From many one. That's what we're supposed to be.
Well, this is what I'm getting at. I think that in about another 6 months, we will start to see communities being important again. And it doesn't matter what race, religion, creed, whatever your neighbor is, you'll start to get to know your neighbors again. This period of isolation will be changing and shifting. All right. Would you explain?
Would this explain why I got some things off my chest and my ex kind of told him off politely through text?
Absolutely. You're starting to
boundaries,
make that,
lines.
You're starting to make that shift. And I'm going to get to that in just a minute if I can keep talking.
Keep going.
So right now, there's an aspect called a trine.
These are good.
But
Triangles.
it's very wide between the outer planets of Pluto and Uranus. Now, I know some people don't pay any attention to anything past Saturn, but if we think about those two planets, Pluto in Capricorn, wanting to shift the establishment, and Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, chaos, panic, and disorder, my work here is done. They're making a trine which is harmonious. They're going to work together. And this exact degree trine will happen 5 times. They'll, as the planets move, it'll happen 5 times between 2026 and 2028. They will come together in this.
Sounds a long way off, but it ain't really, is it?
Well, it's over the next 5 years. But I think this next decade will really, really solidify taking care of each other, taking care of the earth. And I'm not trying to be some delusional tree-hugging hippie.
Although we are tree
I'm just saying,
hippies.
you know, if we look what happened prior, we can try to see what's going to happen now, right? So you do have this big unrest, this big shift. You know, the government is writing the Constitution, all these kind of things are happening. And then there's a period of evolution after the revolution, right? Invention and, you know, stability. So profound shifts are happening. And that Cancer new moon, powerful T-square with the nodes and Pluto brought power and a shift of power, the opportunity, and great compassion. So what I'd love for you guys to be mindful of, I've got an asterisk here, is be very focused not to give negative energy any of your attention. It's okay, Gilda, to Sean of the New Day, he wants to go on the list.
He's made the lights flash.
All right. It's very, very important.
Happy Monday to you, and thank you for flashing our lights.
Very important not to give negative energy any attention unless you're going to clear it. Right? If there's something bothering you,
you identify it and fix it.
and you can identify it and fix it, right? So rather than say, I've got this pile of clothes and I can't find anything and it's making me feel horrible, blah, blah, blah. That's like letting it drain you. You could take that same amount of energy and just purge the pile of clothes, put things away, right? So Gilda, absolutely. If that thing has been sat there, that words you want to say, feelings you have to let out, rather than just let them sit there and continue to drain you every time they come across your mind, how can you
fix it,
pull up the dead and plant new seeds? So this next week is so important that you get a handle and master your energy. Master your energy. So important.
Check yourself.
I talked about this a little bit. Some people have heard it. I talked about it a little bit yesterday in class, and I talked about it with a different group of people the week before. As above, so below. As within, so without. As the universe, so the soul, right? As above, the things that are going on in the heavens, the planetary movements, are narrating for us. That is a language that's telling a story. And it's saying, listen and pay attention and look at this language, look at the story, because what's going on up here is informing what's going on for you, right? For you as a planet, for you as a nation, for you as a community, for you as a person. As within, so without. What are you carrying? What are you focused on? What are you thinking about? Because what is within you,
excuse me,
as within, so without,
becomes your reality.
That is the narrative that is informing your aura, your home, your daily everything. So what you are thinking, feeling, doing, saying, as within, as without, you get a hold of it.
It's true, you know, because as you perceive what's around you, that's how you manifest your reality, your own personal perception of it. And your perception is coloured by what's going on within you, definitely. You know, you're in a good mood, things tend to look better. You're really hacked off in the entire world, then things are going to kind of, you know, reinforce that hacked off feeling.
Yep.
It's how you perceive things that govern your actual reality.
The tearing down and the seeds that you're planting now, it's going to be for a decade that energy is going to grow. right? So if we thought about like when we get out of school and people say, oh, well, what do you want to be? What do you want to do for the rest of your life? We have no idea.
I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I'm probably never going to grow up.
But what I'm going to suggest to you is to just get like a little pad or a little notebook or whatever. Give yourself a couple of minutes at night to narrate your tomorrow.
How about that?
So instead of waking up,
what are we going to do
and
now?
being all stressed out and rethinking all the negative things, leave yourself some positive notes, right? Tomorrow, this is on my list. Tomorrow, I'm going to read this and I'm going to smile. Tomorrow, I'm going to purge whatever it is. Tomorrow, I'm going to let go of fear and fill that space with passion. Tomorrow, I'm going to exhale illness and fill that place with wellness. Little note that you're kind of leaving to your higher self for sleep, but you're also leaving it to yourself for the next day. You can make little to-do list notes if you want to as well, like kind of set your intention for what you're going to spend your day on. But it's really important that you start to master your energy in positive ways.
Absolutely.
And really, you're going to see this Aquarius. We have an Aquarius Holly full moon. It's going to push that shift a little more towards cleaning and regrouping.
It's interesting because Holly has that kind of warrior energy, doesn't
Holly,
it? It really does.
The fierce
and deeply
mother
rooted.
bear.
Deeply
Yeah.
rooted. And yeah. But it's interesting though that Holly also doesn't go looking for a fight. And it's it's only the lower leaves of the holly tree. I mean, we in this country we don't really get big holly trees, so all of them are pretty low. But in the UK, we had one on our ground, a holly tree that was probably 40 feet tall, and when you go up the tree past anywhere where animals could be chewing on the leaves don't have the spikes on them. There is no need for them.
Well,
you
they
know?
don't get eaten up there.
Yeah, so it's you only need to defend against what you need to defend against. You don't have to, make sure, like the Martian kind of way would be everything would be insanely prickly. So, but that's.
Well, no, Holly is the like mama bear. She can be very nurturing and take care and that kind of thing. But she can also rip your limbs off if you.
Least likely to get struck by lightning as well, simply because it's so
but
deeply
any
rooted.
tree,
yes,
at its height, has its roots that far from its trunk. Right? You'd make the angle from the top of the tree
right
out, and that's how far the roots go away from its trunk.
It's not so much the distance, the spread,
it's the depth.
The depth with holly. It's extremely deeply rooted tree. So yeah, it discharges the static buildup. So I felt my mother bear come through saying something on behalf of my kids. Well, there you go.
Well, this is what I'm really saying. I know we talk about positive energy a lot, and we talk about negative energy and getting rid of it, and all. You think, well, they're just, like I said, a couple of crazy hippies or whatever. But I'm really saying to you that if you read the language of astrology, now is the time to master your energy. You are going to have all these hidden helpers that want you to transform in positive ways. Right? And it's not just individually, it is community, country, planet. I really think over these next 10 years, we will see a replay of what we saw ecologically in the 70s. Remember, I always talked about give a hoot, don't pollute, and the Environmental Protection Agency. And I really think these next 10 years, there's going to be a huge focus on renewable energy and saving the planet.
I think we're getting a wake-up call right now.
I think there's going to be a huge focus on community again, where people will have community gardens and, look out for one another. And I do think there's going to be a huge focus again on family and social contacts, right? So even if you don't have a ton of siblings or a large family, you will have like a spiritual family, or a group of people that you have a lot in common with. And, gatherings will become a focus again. I honestly believe this. Aquarius is very social and very focused on, humanitarian issues.
But we're still in that recovery. I know
Well, we're
a
in the
lot of people still aren't comfortable yet.
No.
You know?
And you do still see some cases of COVID and things like that. But I'm saying we are in the shift right now. This is the period of unrest. These next 18 months, but the next 5 months in particular. So the next 5 months in particular are your house cleaning, housekeeping, mastering your energy.
I think that's the key, isn't it?
And then
Learning
you'll see
how to respond rather
then you'll
than
see
react.
that next shift, right? So you have like about 6 months of the tear down, 6 months of the rebuild, and then 6 months of enjoying that energy till you get to the next cycle. But the cycles that are coming for the next 10 years are all working to solidify the age of Aquarius. Right? You're going to see, I think, just quantum leaps with creative things in positive ways. Quantum leaps, again, with community and taking care of one another. Very powerful transformations. And not ones that we would perceive to be negative, you know? I mean, when we think about what's been going on with computers the last 50 years, or the things that have changed in the last 50 years, imagine what the next 50 are going to be like.
Go home, I can finish it myself. It's interesting. I think not somebody that you would consider to be one of the world's greatest philosophers, Jimi Hendrix, but he actually said something which I think is extraordinarily relevant and profound, and that was, when the power of love finally overcomes the love of... No, when the power of love overcomes
The love of
power, then we will finally know peace. That's what he said. And it's true, because there's so many people questing for power and glory and accolades and all that sort of stuff, but they ain't worth crap. At the end of the day,
You can't eat money.
It's so I feel that there is this balancing effect, and it's almost like the death throes, I want to say, the struggle of the old entrenched meanness and people who are desperately trying to protect
South
their
Node
possession.
in Aries, right? The South Node is that masculine, projective, fiery energy to start with, right? And now it has Aries propelling it. The fight is brutal. But the North Node, the mother, the nurturer, the delegator, let's say, is in Libra. Justice will be served karmically. And I don't just mean this politically. Please understand that. I'm saying that the fight within you could be very strong, but justice will prevail. There will be a restoration if you work towards it.
That's true justice. True justice is restorative justice, not
revenge,
punitive justice.
Right? We're
It's
not talking about revenge.
It's not
We're
revenge.
talking about restoration.
We're about
Big
making
difference.
things right, redressing the balance,
Right.
making the necessary adjustment.
Adjustment, which is alchemical, like transformation. So, get your thinking cap on and really just think about, what am I passionate about? And what fear is stopping me from following my passion? And what am I inspired by? And why do I have doubts about that inspiration? And what do I perceive to be unwell within me, whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever? What do I perceive to be unwell, and what do I want to promote wellness for? And, what kind of debt do I want to rid myself of? Karmic debt, financial debt, whatever. And how can I bring that abundance forth? And give yourself some time to think about that and work out what you're going to do on the night of the full moon to engage in the humanitarian energy of Aquarius and the restorative justice of the North Node in Libra.
I think it's actually on the turn of the month, isn't it? It's
31st,
the night of
first.
July 31st, but the full moon is actually August 1st.
Yeah, I think it depends on where you live.
Where you are, but it's just sometime after midnight. I could look up the actual time, but 3 days. You've got 3 days to play with the energy of the full moon. Don't forget. That's my word again, says Gilda. What's that? Adjustment. I think it
Adjustment. Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, adjustment is good. It's
or
necessary.
Restore, I think, was her word.
I don't know. Restorative justice is adjustment. I love it. Yeah, but it is, if you think about it, you're driving a car. You don't go, oh my God, I'm going to drive off the side of the road. You just steer back towards the centre, don't you?
You make an adjustment.
You continually adjust, and this is what we
And in the
should be
snow,
doing.
you steer into the skid. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, yeah.
Face your fear.
Let's go. No, let's not talk about the snow. I'm not done with the summer yet.
Oh, yeah, I can't.
Let's don't mention El Nino and all that. No.
National Weather Forecast, almanac for 23, 24.
It's too soon.
I can't afford all these snow day specials that they're predicting we're going to have.
God, I know. I love it. So we got some interesting stuff just while you're shuffling up cards that we've been working on. Expect to see some fun stuff. You may have noticed that we've become slightly more communicative in terms of email. We're trying to work on our deliverability. Again, we're doing the very best we can to become less of a well-kept secret. So there you go. What's that? Believe everything. Be curious about feelings and we're going to find ourselves in place of community. There you go.
I'm curious about your feelings as to how we're going to find ourselves the place of community.
In the place of community.
Well, I think that everybody is going to be seeking their tribe, right? So if you have a big family, then there'll be like a matriarchal energy again, where everybody goes to that person's house and they make the food, and there's talking instead of, let's all sit at the table together.
I have some friends over to look at their phones. Yeah. Can you imagine if we did that for this broadcast? We'll just sit here and look at our phones.
That'd
be interesting.
So I think that disconnecting from antisocial things.
It's an oxymoron, social media, isn't it?
Right? And reconnecting on a human level is a big step towards it, Peggy. But get off your couch and find your tribe. If you like to dance, look where they have dances.
Exactly.
If you want to play games, look where they have a game night. Bingo. If you like to put together puzzles, there's different libraries that have puzzle things. If you like to be outdoors, look for a hiking group. Whatever it is, you have to manifest and master yourself and go connect. What else is she saying?
She says how do you think it's going to come about? Because of some catastrophic event? I think there is a general awakening.
I think we've already had the catastrophic event. And understand that COVID was, it came in, it peaked, and then it decreased.
It's endemic now. It's going to be with us
forever.
But
I think that is the catastrophic event that said everyone has to be isolated. Nobody can speak. We're going to tank economies. We're going to tank travel. We're going to tank infrastructure. We're going to tank supply chain. We're going to tank you being able to go anywhere and do anything. That was the epicenter And there's astrological evidence for that as well.
That was where the isolationism, I think that is a word, started really. And I think people have gotten comfortable with that, to be honest. And there are still some people who probably bear psychological scars that are finding it extremely difficult to reintegrate back into a communal sort of society.
Right? I can just order my groceries. I don't have to go out. I can just order Netflix. I don't have to go to the movies. I can just whatever. I don't have to whatever.
That and climate.
We've given our power away. Yeah.
That and climate. And I think there's a huge wake-up call going on right now on climate. I mean, just here in the northeast, in the space of 2 rainstorms, we received more than 2 months worth of rain in 2 storms. And that's kind of crazy. And yet there are other parts that are sweltering under like 20 plus days of 120 degrees plus, you know. This is going to cause climate migration, you know. Places are going to become uninhabitable. And so people will move. And then you've got this, you know, adjustment necessary again. But there's still a window of opportunity for us to actually do something about this, you know. But again, the fossil fuel industry, which has got an awful lot of money, you understand, and controls it. They've got a lot of lobbyists. They control a lot of things, and they do a lot of fear mongering to say, oh, they want to take your gas stoves away. They want to ban all cars, all this. That's bull, all right? What we're trying to do is reduce our reliance on fossil fuels because it's really bloody bad for the whole planet. So you know, yeah.
Honestly, though, I really think you're going to start to see people working together again.
That would be good if we all work together to actually fight the problem, not each other.
Well, I think that's what this nodal shift is about. I was going to say something else, but I got cut
derailed
off.
you. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm good at that.
It's okay. Understand though, as above, so below. Oh, I know what I was going to say.
There you go.
Because Peggy, it's not an instantaneous thing.
No.
Right? When we're talking about planetary shifts, especially something that is going to be moving in a space for 18 months, if you thought about it this way, right? Like we're sitting and there's this energy here, right? There's a
quite
divide,
nice, actually.
Right? But something comes in, you can start to feel it. Oh, a few days before the new moon or the full moon, I can start to feel that energy. Oh my gosh. Then there's that direct pinpointed degree, and then it continues to move again. So this shift isn't like what catastrophic event happened. It's what came in, hit us, and is moving out. And I believe that to be COVID. It was global. It affected countries in different ways. It affected communities in different ways. It affected people in different ways. And now we're dealing with the after effect of that. But I really do feel people are going to start being community-minded, tribe-minded. Right? They're going to start to go back to church. They're going to start to go back to the grocery store. They're going to start to get together for dinner. They're going to start to support each other again. The isolation period, I believe, is over.
Yeah, I think, you know, we were taught during that period to be fearful.
I think I'm going to do all the readings because we're going to run out of time.
Okay, well, no, this is perfectly fine. We're only just half hour in. We were taught to be fearful, and fear is the second most powerful force in the universe. It really is. You know, when fear gets hold of you, it literally is F everything and run. You know, because there's no place for rational thought at that. You know, it's like you're not. You're responding. You're not responding. You're reacting. You know, fear exists within id. It's not part of your higher consciousness. It's a survival mechanism, and so that's very, like, you know, intensely wired into your psyche, if you will. And as such, when something plays upon our fears, and bless them, the politicians have learned how to do that quite well. You know, so they play upon fears, and then, you know, you can cause a lot of unrest and unsettlement. But now I think there is that adjustment going on where a community will start to come back together.
Well, think about your own personal actions, thoughts, and responses the last 10 days. What changes have you made in the last 10 days? What is your perspective, and have you shifted how you look at something in the last 10 days? Can you recognize something you want to make a shift about, something you want to let go of and rebuild in a better way? The last 10 days might have informed you very subtly, given you clues about how you want to take steps. What has changed? What circumstance is different? What are you doing different? What are you focusing on that might be working you towards where you want to go? Think about that and really master your energy. Do not give the bad crap any power unless you can master your energy and use it to get rid of the problem, right? Like Gilda letting her ex know this is where she stands now, right? Instead of letting it hang and hang and hang and weigh her down.
Fester, here's
right?
the line.
Here's this pile, I've got to take care of it, rather than let it sit there and worry about it. Whatever it is, now is the time for action. You want to lose 50 pounds? Make a plan. You want to do whatever it is that you want to do? Make a plan, right? Whatever it is, let inspiration overcome doubt. Let passion overcome fear. Let health overcome illness. And let abundance and prosperity overcome debt or lack. We're in that shift right now. Think about the last 10 days. What did you change? And how do you want to move forward? Stop worrying and focusing on the negative stuff. All right. Now, we have about 20 minutes to do 8 readings. Do you think you can do a reading in a minute? Or would you like me to do them?
I reserve the right to interject, but go for it.
All right. Geraldine!
I reserve Listen, mash that like button, please.
Geraldine, I think that whatever's going on this week is really helping you to get turned around, right? You see there's that little bridge here? I think that instead of letting things go by you, you are going to get over that bridge and get back in front of things. So I think these 2 cups here are you collecting your power and really stepping back from what no longer serves you. 5s are a little bit of a struggle, but I think, the notebook thing could really help you, and I feel like you're going to get your magic on.
Get your magic on,
you're
girl.
Get that robe on. You're going to get your magic on.
Yeah, whatever it is that's bothering you, it literally is water under the bridge, So just you... What card is that? It's the 5 of Cups.
5 of Cups.
The 5 of Cups. But it is, where I come from, a house on a hill with a river running past is a really good omen. And this happens to be a church on a hill. So that indicates, spirituality, really. So your spirituality.
Right, but I think you're crossing the bridge towards better stuff.
It's...
All right. So next up is Gilda. 5 for Gilda as well.
Well, it's fractious times. There is a disturbance in the force.
Gilda, this is about opinions.
We all got one.
Other people's opinions. So I'm not going to say that you can't give anybody any space, but the opinion that counts the most right now is your own. How are you going to process the opportunity, the information? How are you going to take care of it? And it might create some external struggle, Sometimes people around you don't like it if you change, right?
There is that.
Oh, your ex thinks, well, she was going with the flow all this time. Why all of a sudden is she upset?
Now what do
No,
I do?
it's not all of a sudden I'm upset. I've been upset for a very long time, and now I'm going to tell you about it. Right? So there's a little more work to be done, but you can do it
It can do it.
ethically. All right.
Oh, not the ethics chat.
Cass. Oh.
Zoom!
Again, I've said this before, I know, but this is like when you're pulling back a slingshot. And you're pulling it back, and you're pulling it back, and you're pulling it back, and you're pulling it back. You may really have felt like for quite some time things were moving backwards or in slow motion. But I think come the full moon, so make sure you align your target really well.
Be mindful of your target and what lies behind it. Also, note, house on a hill with a river running past, except that one's a palace.
Right, okay. And sometimes this can indicate a shift going on within your home. So there might be some changing that you're doing. Possibly, like moving from one bedroom to another, or just creating an office sacred space or something like that. There's a big shift. A she cave.
Is there a she cave? It's a man cave.
I don't know what they call a man cave and a she
shed,
but it's not a shed. All right. Savannah.
The Knight of Wands, Savannah.
Learning new ways to interpret messages. So I'm going to think that this is you playing with those witches' runes.
Yeah.
Or your new tarot deck. I know I'm cheating a little bit because I know you have them, but I think there is going to be a great deal of information and messages coming. So again, notebook.
Yeah,
important
for you particularly.
Rudeness journal.
I got to interject on this one. See them 3 pyramids? This, to me, exclusively says a connection with an old soul, ancestral spirit or whatever. So I'm thinking you're probably going to unlock a direct line of communication with a spirit guide at this point. So
yeah,
particularly really, really cool for you, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so kudos. Enjoy it.
Shannon,
our resident Scorpio.
Oh, another old soul card.
So it is.
Something's really moving, Shannon. This card is Sagittarius, but I don't think it's giving us a time frame. I think it's giving us an energy or an understanding. So Sag is the ultimate optimist. They usually always can see the best in something. But I feel like this for you is some sort of big growth. A big step forward. And I feel like a lot of confidence and like knowledge, security. I think this is going to be a big week for you when you start thinking about things.
I'm seeing a lot of clear air, if that makes sense. And I think a lot of the fog that you've been sort of, for want of a better word, struggling with to try and see a path, to try and see a way clear. I think the bright sunshiny day, I can see clearly now the rain has gone. I do see, as Lisa's saying, very much a clarity in purpose for you starting to become, and a definite path forward. So nice.
All right.
That's a good card.
Helena Rose. Oh.
Communication lets me down.
Well, to me, this is the ultimate shift or change.
Oh, hell yeah.
And this, unlike Gilda's shift, may be more abrupt. I don't know. I feel like you're going to stop someone in their tracks and hold them responsible for their own actions and allow yourself the freedom to kind of break free of their oppressiveness.
I want to say gaslighting and manipulation, to be honest, because
You
this
think you're
shit
gonna
clearly
call 'em
shows
out.
the falsehood will collapse under its own weight.
Yep, the falsehood will collapse under its own weight. Who's this?
It's Sean of the New Day.
Look, you're up next. You don't have to give us more money.
He just likes, I don't know, maybe like, we appreciate that. Celtica appreciates that, Sean. It's awesome.
But yeah, I feel like it's enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
Enough is enough, and you're going to say, nope, this stops now. You can't do this to me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They will be enlightened, how should we say?
Yes, take them for a walk through the Garden of Enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Sean. Thank you. Maybe because you gave us 2 super chats, we'll each give you a reading. How's that?
There you go, see, because we still got plenty of time.
So I'll do one, and then you do one.
All right, then.
Ooh.
Oh, hello. Another old soul card.
This is the Emerald Tablet guy himself, as above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. I can see you kind of finding some rabbit holes. Hermetic wisdom, possibly. High magic, the craft, just like really opening doors. You know, sometimes when we are seeking, we go and we knock and the door stays closed. We think, all right. And we go to the next door and we knock and the door stays closed. And man, I thought that was my door. We come to the next door and we knock and no, that doesn't open. I really thought that was my door. Then we come to the next door. We raise our hand to knock. And before we can knock, the door opens. A lasso comes out and sucks us in. And I think that's where you're at. I think between now and September, there's a huge spiritual growth spurt for you. You can now give Sean a reading.
All right. That's a heck of a card. And seriously, if you get opportunity to find a book called An Initiation to Hermetics by Franz Barden, try and get the English version unless you're fluent in German. That's going to be a cracking book to read. And Queen of Pentacles. This is understanding the nature of nature. And I think that's really where you're at right now. To understand, one must first observe. And observation is different than looking. Observation is active, you know. It's very active. I don't know why I feel drawn to tell you this, but I'm going to. I think sometimes, you know, when you feel that kind of knot of anxiety within you, you can escape to a place to prevent that happening. So what I want you to do is build your imaginary, but it's real because it exists within other imaginary place of peace and power. All right, and this is a process. It's going to take you a while to do this, so I'm going to try and speak really bloody quickly, so feel free to play this back and take notes. But what I want you to do is start to map out where it is, you know, and start off with a mudra. And I don't know if you know what a mudra is, but it's like, you know, when you consciously bring like the tips of your thumbs in between the tips of your 2 fingers. It doesn't have to be big, but this becomes the mechanical trigger to do this, all right?
And this could be an indoor sacred space or an outdoor sacred space.
All right. So I want you to map out where you are. I want you to really start to know it as well as you know the dashboard on your car. You can close your eyes at any time and know that. And really map it out in detail. Spend a lot of time observing this. But before you do any of this work, you've got to do that little mudra, okay? So start to build this place in your mind's eye. You know, where are you? Which way is the wind blowing? What can you taste on the breeze? On the edge of your hearing, what can you hear? What's it right at your feet? Are you sitting? Are you standing? You know, this is your place of peace and power. Nobody can invade upon that space. And it's like, it works like taking you into dream time. You know, when we dream, sometimes we can have these epic dreams that seem to go on forever and ever and ever and ever. But really and truthfully, they only last for 3 to 5 seconds at an absolute
Crazy,
maximum.
Right?
So this is a way of like escaping in that very second, this kind of anxious place to take you. While you're awake with your eyes open, somebody will just notice a little bit of distance in your eyes. You just do this little mudra, bam, you're there. You can spend as long as you need there, 2 hours.
And you can be in both places at once if you need to be.
You are, because both places exist. It's a place outside of time. It's a place outside of reality.
That's great advice for anybody listening.
Right.
To have that sacred space that they can just,
but I don't know. I think this is part of parcel. This is one of your skills, of spiritual mastery skills, that I believe you're sort of ready for it now. And I think this is gonna elevate you, and it's gonna bring you to that place of clear thinking. And in the future, you can perhaps install a bench there and ask your spirit guide to come along and sit on that bench with you, and you can natter for a while and all that fun stuff. But this is all about getting results through nurture, through gradually
pulling
building
out that which is within and bringing it to.
Yep. So honestly, I don't know. I just felt drawn to tell you that. So
right.
I've learned to do it.
Card of the week.
Is that everybody? Did we do everybody?
Yep.
Okay, we did everybody. All right then.
A place the Fae live. Well, maybe for you.
Could be.
Card of the week.
Oh.
Union. Working to find your tribe. Working to be social again. Working to understand somebody who's different or new. So for me, this week is about community, catching back up with people, making some phone calls, talking, not texting, that kind of thing. What do you think?
I love this card because it very much is a card of partnership and union, if you will. And one would assume that there is, in fact, a wedding going down here. But it's interesting that they're both looking out. And so they're choosing to walk together. They're not being subsumed by each other. And I think that's a wonderful thing in relationship, that you remain your own person. And, you're two individuals choosing to be together, not trying to dominate the other or take away from the other, whatever. And I love that there's a bridge here, another bridge,
It's that same
and that's
little bridge.
that, build that bridge again. It's that 3-arched bridge, So yeah, build that bridge, be the one. When people are spreading disharmony and dissent, why don't you be the bridge? Why don't you be the one that brings people together, that restores balance and provides opportunity? A stranger is only a friend you don't know yet. So I think it's so important that we can be the change that we seek in the world if we're active. We have to be active in the process. I wish things were better. I wish without a plan is just a wish, or an idea without a plan is just a wish. But make things better. So there you go. This is perfect. Oh, you're so welcome. You're welcome. But this is a really, really cool card. And a great card for the week. And given everything that you're talking about, and if you're just joining us now,
please go back and watch from
missed
the beginning.
a cracker. You need to go back. Did we do cards?
We did, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Go back and watch it again because there's an awful lot in this one. We've covered a lot of ground, and I never knew about. What are the lunar nodes anyway? What are they? Is they like the
head and tail of the dragon?
Is this like where it goes up and down? Because we would have as the
There's
sun
an axis to the ecliptic, yeah.
So it's
Stonehenge.
at the south of the ecliptic and the north of the ecliptic.
Stonehenge takes them into consideration.
So it's the nodes are then equivalent to the solar solstices, perhaps. It gets where it gets to the top of the ecliptic and the bottom of the ecliptic. Is that it? I don't know. I don't know.
I am not the scientific person. So
I'll
I'm
have
sorry
to go
about
look
that.
that up.
I'm the esoteric person, but I can tell you that if you took 12 times 18 months, you would see that Stonehenge would do that logic for you.
Oh, it's a fantastic calendar stroke almanac, Stonehenge.
Yeah.
It's
but this is a big shift, and we can see it. And again, we have not had this global opportunity since 1776, and really think about what went on then and for the next decade.
Well, yeah, somebody threw some tea in the harbour and
there
said,
was a
enough's
revolution,
enough,
but there was
thing.
an evolution, and some people gained from that, and some people didn't. I mean, obviously, what happened to the Native Americans from 1776 till about 1790 wasn't maybe the best, but again, Aries, Libra.
Yeah, I love it. And if you guys ever get a chance to read a book called Stranger in a Strange Land, and if you've not read it, read it.
All right.
Thank
Off we
you.
go.
We must go. We must go. We must go. And don't forget to hit the like button, says Savannah.
Yes,
in
Gilda
fact,
was saying mash the like button too.
and,
so.
and why not
That'd be
share
great.
this? Why not share this with your friends? Post it on your social media. Help us be less of a well-kept secret. We're trying to do some good in the world. Bless you.
Excuse me.
And you can help. Guys, thank you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And we'll catch up with you real soon. Bye.